Good evening and welcome back to Prime of My Life. It's Sunday night. I have been such a busy bee. As you saw, I had so much minced beef, and as you can hear, the canner is on in the background with the last 4 jars. So that is 7 kilos of minced beef, pressure canned, plus plum jam. I have been a very busy bee today. Also, what I found out today, or not so much what I found out, I had Sky News on in the background, and they had Nadim Zahawi on, and they asked him about bringing the army in to cover for strikes and stuff, and was that going to happen, and how are people going to cope? Now, that was really the only bit that I watched. I didn't watch much further than that because I was not a happy bunny by then. So they're seemingly looking to minimise disruption over Christmas and New Year, especially with like border force for people travelling, etc. But when he was asked about the strikes and people struggling and they're looking to have inflation rated pay rises, and he said it's time to come together and send a message to Putin that we are not going to be divided. And I'm a bit confused about that, I have to say, because I'm not quite sure how nurses having to go to a food bank is sending Putin any message apart from how rubbish this government is. How does people who are working having to go to a food bank to feed their families, how does that send a message to Putin? How does that stop us being divided? If anything, I'd have said that divides us much more, because it's very obvious who's not having to go to a food bank. People with incomes at certain levels. Now, if you're working full time and doing a 40-hour week, you would expect that that would allow you to have enough money to pay either your rent or mortgage, your electricity, your council tax, and enough food to feed your family for the week. Would you not? That's what I was thinking. So, seemingly, we shouldn't be striking. And the government have seemingly accepted the pay review that was advised by the pay review board. And I think that's, what is it, £1,400 for everybody in the NHS or for the nurses or something. And I'm like, what? Now, seemingly the 19% that nurses are looking for, which is basically to catch them up on the really rubbish pay rises they've had for the last few years, and then to bring them up in line with inflation. And according to Mr. Zahawi, that will cost £10 billion. Now, what was the headline I saw a couple of days ago? Talking about PPE contracts given out to a peer's friends or something. I'm pretty sure that was in the billions. Possibly not, possibly millions. But if that's one, how many fraudulent PPE or COVID furlough claims were there that they're only just starting to chase now? And to then, and I mean, he came back again and said we have to come together to show Putin we're not going to be divided. Of course we're divided. There is people who cannot eat without food banks, and don't even get me started on the people who have got benefit sanctions. They get nothing. How are they supposed to live? What is that about? This is ridiculous. Pensioners who can barely scrape enough together to put the heating on, and they're sitting there in the House of Lords getting all their bills paid for them, going, oh yes, but the government, we have to pull together in this. Well, maybe it's time you got out of your little gilded cage and went and saw what the world was like outside, and go and visit a food bank. And visit a food bank not once, but visit it a few weeks later and see how many more people have come in, and see how much more they're struggling, and see how many who have just had their electricity bills and are trying to keep the heat on and are now having to come to the food bank. Because that's not going down anytime soon. And for me, the complete brass neck, no conscience to be able and sit there and say, well, this is all Mr. Putin's doing. No, it's not. You choose where you put that money. And at the moment, you're choosing to put it elsewhere than looking after your own people. And that is not good. I am not impressed with that at all. But to sit, I mean, literally, to sit there and say, it's time to come together and send a message to Putin that we are not going to be divided. The message Putin's getting at the moment is there's upcoming riots in this country because people are going to start losing family members due to the lack of income compared to the cost of outgoings. I mean, your cap thing is going up in January, and the Chancellor said come April, there's not going to be the same energy help. There maybe will be for the poorest. So if the help's for the poorest, why was everybody, everywhere, given the energy money, the £400? Because I happen to know quite a few people, do you know, the landed Draintree roundabout, that don't need the £400. Why was that not means tested? Because, dear Lord, you means test benefits. So if you're giving something out, if people have got to almost beg to be able to get the benefits that they're entitled to, why are you just throwing out this £400 to everybody? Yeah, exactly. So yes, I was not impressed when I saw Nadim Zahawi today. I really was not. And the fact that he's given it large about the, oh, we cannot be divided, Mr. Putin will see. Mr. Putin's seeing that we are getting worse and worse off, that we are becoming a third world country at this rate. He's not thinking anything about us being divided. He's literally sitting back going, knock yourself out, Mr. Tory government. Knock yourself out, Mr. UK government. Because your people are really starting to struggle now. And we're supposed to be one of the top economies. Yeah, don't give me your rubbish. So yes, that was my thing today. And that was in between doing all the pressure canning and doing my jam and wearing my new top, which is thank you to Marianne from Wallflowers. She sent me in the new top. It has sleeves and it's swooshy. It does lots of swooshing. It's like a big poncho. So I'm very happy with that. So yes, I hope you have a good Sunday. Don't let Mr. Zahawi upset you too much. We need to have cunning plans. Mine today consisted of prepping more, because it just doesn't look like it's getting any better anytime soon. Because even if it does, even if inflation comes down a bit, there's still, you know, the fuel hasn't come down. The cost of food isn't going to come down anytime soon. The cost of energy isn't going to come down anytime soon. So I think we're in this for the long haul. So prep more. That's what we have to do. Trust me, come the glorious payday, I'm having one of those hauls. I am going to do huge stuff. I'm even thinking about going to the cash and carry and getting big stuff, because I've noticed, because Patrick and I take sugar in our tea, we go through quite a bit of sugar. And then I made jam, which was a whole lot more. I think I possibly need a big bag of sugar, not just your little ones. But I'm pretty sure the last time it actually cost me more than it would have done in the supermarket. So I might have to get people to go in and get me more sugar, you know, like 3 or 4 packs each, rather than me trying to come out with 10. Yeah. So yes, I hope you have a good Sunday night. I am going to turn this down and then wait another 10-15 minutes and then turn it back up, because I've got an electric cooker and I need to keep it above 11 pounds of pressure. So there you go. Catch you later.